Meet the bad guy. Since his release, High Evolutionary has been one of the most polarizing cards in Marvel Snap. He's obviously a very powerful card at this point, with multiple High Evolutionary decks being among the best performing in the game. He's also polarizing in terms of his reactions. His power means that people often complain about him being overtuned. So, what I want to do today is dive into the best High Evolutionary deck, High Evolutionary Lockjaw, and explain what you need to know about how to play and how to beat it so that you don't become one of the people complaining about High Evolutionary. I want you to be better than that, and for that reason, I want you to know how this deck works and what you have to do to beat it. This is the baseline version of the High Evolutionary Lockjaw deck. It is what I think the default mode of the deck is. And I think the fact that this version has fallen a little bit out of favor can tell you something about what you can do to beat this deck. Because if it was just perfectly the perfect 12 cards, then, you might actually not see changes in the archetype, but we are. So let's start with this list. Let's break it down, and hopefully you can understand how it goes from here. This is the base list, right? We only have really one flex spot, and that is Wave. And now the rest of the cards in the deck seem to be pretty set. We are relying on Doom Odin combos with Thor. We have America Chavez in the deck because we want to draw Lockjaw early. We want to draw Thor early. We're using Jane Foster to draw our 0-cost cards to put into Lockjaw. Our 0-cost cards also work with Odin. You pretty much get it. Now the Wave in here in our one flex spot is a nod to the bounce list. However, it's not actually quite effective in Conquest. Once the bounce list knows that you're running the Wave, they are able to deploy on turn 5 without much of a punish, because if you don't play the Wave, they will simply play a Kitty Pryde and an Iron Man on the final turn, and if you do play the Wave, they're going to be very, very far ahead. So this leads us to the next adaptation that the Lockjaw deck made. This is the exact same list, except instead of Wave, which is not sufficient to win the matchup in Conquest, you have the addition of Spider-Ham. And that might seem a little bit weird, especially because, Wave plus Odin actually is a very good way of beating that deck. You can still get a lot of work done, but I think a lot of people aren't really on that wavelength, or they don't consider Wave plus Odin a reliable play into the bounce decks anyway. It's not something that happens enough for you to be confident in it. It's the kind of thing you can do to scam a win, but not the kind of thing that is a reliable game plan in the matchup. So why Spider-Ham? Well, the reason for Spider-Ham is the bounce decks rely primarily on 2 cards in order to swing lanes against you. Those cards are Shang-Chi and Iron Man. Spider-Ham is almost always going to hit one of those cards. In almost every scenario that the bounce deck has access to one of those cards in their hand, it will be the most expensive card in their hand. Now, there are also bounce decks that don't even run Shang-Chi. They're only relying on Iron Man for this matchup. And that makes them even juicier targets for Spider-Ham. This does, of course, mean that you need to be timing your Spider-Hams well. You don't just want to fire it off randomly necessarily. You are aiming at those cards specifically. Now that we've talked a little bit about how to negate the impact of Iron Man on your games, thanks to Spider-Ham, the next question becomes, how do we negate the impact of Shang-Chi? And one great way of doing that is to bring Dracula back into the list. Unfortunately, this requires some sacrifice on the top end. You'll notice we're not playing Odin anymore. And in addition, there have been builds that include the Infinite as a sort of hedge to opposing Spider-Hams and for the Dracula. When playing those builds, I ended up realizing that I didn't actually want to be playing my big, good Dracula targets on the final turn of the game. I wanted to be playing something else that was not making my Dracula actively worse by playing it. So for that reason, I replaced the Infinite with Dr. Doom. This might not work for everybody. It's just how I preferred to play the list. The basic concept of this list would be you take the Dr. Doom out for the Infinite, and you can see very straightforwardly that we are trying to combat Iron Man with Spider-Ham, and we are trying to combat Shang-Chi with Dracula. And that is how this list tends to play out. But the point I also want to make here is that you can see from how the list is adapting to these cards what you need to do to beat it. You can take nearly any mid-range archetype and give it the tools to combat this deck. And this is actually very simple. As long as you are playing Invisible Woman and Shang-Chi, and you have some other way of reasonably putting points on the board, it is very difficult for a Lockjaw Evo deck to play against you. This Patriot list, playing Invisible Woman and Shang-Chi, can really pressure multiple lanes at the same time, and since the Lockjaw deck often invests only in 1 or 2 lanes consistently, one of those lanes getting blown up by a Shang-Chi means that you're almost certainly going to win the game with a power spread across all 3. Here's another example of the same concept in action. It's a Darkhawk mid-range deck, but we have Invisible Woman and Shang-Chi, and that means that they don't have any reliable place to go with their big units. One note here, though, is that Magneto is very, very potent against decks like this that rely heavily on 3 and 4 cost cards. As the final example of how to attack this, we have the What Am I list made by, of course, What Am I? And this uses, of course, the same Shang-Chi and Invisible Woman combination in the sort of bounce shell, although it is really bounceless bounce. And here you see the kind of exact deck that we're building against by including Dracula and Spider-Ham. We get to hit that Iron Man with Spider-Ham, we get to hit that Shang-Chi with Spider-Ham, and that's really what we're trying to build towards, is having plausible plans in this matchup. I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but the Evo Lockjaw decks are very reliant, for the most part, on winning 2 lanes with very big units. This means that the primary way of combating them is to either blow up those big units, Shang-Chi, or go over the top of those big units with Iron Man. And so I think for all the people complaining about this list, it is very powerful, but it does have very clearly defined weaknesses. And if you understand those weaknesses, then you understand how to play against it. Now, how do you actually play it? There is a surprising amount of play in this deck, especially given how adapted the metagame has become to it. So, generally speaking, you are going to want to, play your Thors and your Lockjaws and your 0 costs in your Lockjaw. That's pretty straightforward. You are going to understand this probably by this point. But the real questions start to enter your brain when you're playing against someone who has an Invisible Woman across from you. So I want to focus on that. If they play an Invisible Woman early, you need to stay out of that lane for the most part, because there could be a Shang-Chi behind that at any point in time. And that Shang-Chi will kill your Thor, even if you don't have priority on the final turn. One of the big things this deck is good at, actually, is throwing priority, because they're only really building up 1 lane and then slamming down like 20 power thanks to the Hulk in another lane. And because they're thrown priority, normal Shang-Chis don't cut it. However, Invisible Woman Shang-Chis do. Thus, you can see how this deck has been forced to adapt to the metagame. And now that it has adapted, it's still very, very strong. My preferred build is the one you see on the screen, but I played 4 hours of this deck today in various conquests, and yeah, it's still super, super good. So I wanted to release this just as a PSA, sort of. You need to understand how to play this deck, and you need to understand how to play against it. And I think for all the people who are worried High Evolutionary is like super broken or whatever, I don't think it's particularly broken. It might be a little bit overtuned, but I don't think it's particularly broken. It's maybe, 1 or 2 points off where it should be. And now that we have a lot of decks that can sort of combat it on its terms, it becomes a much more approachable and easy to win matchup. That said, this deck is still extremely powerful. I would say it is one of the top 3 decks that I would recommend to you to play if you wanted to win the most games possible in any given sample size. It's very powerful. It's deceptively hard to play, but the floor is still pretty high as long as you don't completely blow it. So let's jump into some gameplay that I played with various versions of this deck. I hope you can learn something from it. As always, remember to like and subscribe. Do the things that make my dopamine chemical receptors go burr. I will see you in the next one. Thank you. I've just been seeing a lot of complaints about High Evolutionary Lockjaw recently, and I wanted to investigate it and see what was up. We can hold the Spider-Ham until 2, I believe. All right, so. Oh my. Now do we hold... No, because we have the Agent 13 too, right? We'll just ham this out now. Thoughts on Sarah Surfer, but you run Shang for countering LJ. Not bad. All right, what deck is playing Odin and Invisible Woman? That's very interesting. What deck is playing Odin and Invisible Woman? Gambit decks, you say? Wong. Okay. Wait, what's my ordering? My ordering is not this. My ordering is Wasp first, then Thor. Do I play the Agent 13 now, or do I go for the extra points on the Hulk? I think I hold the Agent 13. All right, well, that's kind of annoying. So it's just Surfer then, but like a weird Surfer. We do have an intriguing Magneto here. Very interesting Magneto in this context. Very, very interesting. Especially if they end up actually playing a Killmonger, correct? Way I see it, this should be Magneto. Where's the Wasp going? Let's try it like that. Oh, wow. All right. Doom, pretty okay here. Maximus draws 2, Polaris pulls nothing, Killmonger does nothing, and we get there. We get there on this one. Wait. How did that happen? Oh, they drew me the Mjolnir off the mat. Okay. Sorry, what the fuck? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so they're an Odin Surfer deck. That's pretty interesting. Odin Surfer. Wow. Okay. Early Ham hits Odin, Sarah, Polaris. So no Odin, no Sarah in hand. All right. Interesting. My worry here... They're snapping. Why are they snapping? Because they have a brood, right? I have a Jubilee that can be something reasonable. Surfer mid, big numbers. Right. My thought process is I'm going to try to take priority and hit him with a Magneto mid, right? Like, that's my thought process. My thought process is I'm going to fuck them. Trying to figure out when, though. It's the turn after this is kind of the issue, right? Because, what's this? This is a 0 now. So, I want to take priority right now if I can. And I want a Magneto next turn to prevent as much surfering as possible, correct? So as long as I have priority here, I should be in an okay spot. I go for full energy. Invisible Woman, and it dies. And then, like, Brood, probably? Yeah, okay. So this is the situation I wanted to be in, where now my Magneto prevents anything good from them, right? We go... Do I do Doom into Magneto? I think that's actually better. No, but we do Magneto into Doom. Yeah, nice fucking surfer thing you're doing here, dude. It's cool, don't get me wrong. Even if we're looking at, like, Storm and, like, a bunch of other shits. Yeah, like, I don't think this gets there. I do not think this is the line that gets there for them. Now, I was afraid of snapping back there, but maybe I shouldn't have been. I felt like if I snapped back on that turn 6, my chance to snap back was turn 5, right? Before I dumped all my stuff, but that was contingent on them playing the Brood there, right? That was the important thing. Doesn't even have Surfer. There is one card that we have not seen in his deck, and I believe it is Surfer. So, you know, might have Surfer still. Drawing a 0 here would just go a long way towards making my shit make more sense. That's pretty unfortunate. That's pretty interesting. I'd love to draw a Wasp. They snap on that. Again, I have Magneto, and there's a lot of good pulls here. So, I'm comfortable with this. Okay, they Juggernaut my guy. But again, like, I'm a Magneto gamer. I'm not super worried. Shadow King. Well, well, well. Put a Dracula in the middle. Play Magneto. Oh, can't play Magneto. Oh. Oh, Goose gets me. All right, that beat me. Fair enough. What are you doing for this stream? We're playing the Lockjaw deck. Just a bunch of different variations of it, and then we're going to do a video about Lockjaw generally. Okay. So that location cannot be stormed. Nova mid. We have Jane here. A Dracula or a Jubilee would probably be pretty good draws. That's kind of a Jubilee. Spider-Ham, Drac, Jubilee, Doom, Mjolnir are kind of our hits here. Do we snap on this? I'll snap on this. Because they might pump the Lockjaw somewhere, but they won't pump whatever we get out of it. Okay, it sucked. Whatever we got out of it fucking sucked. That sucks. They do pump the Lockjaw, though, and that means we get, like, actual rolls off of that here, which is interesting considering Dr. Doom is a card. They snap back. Really interesting, actually. I am compelled by this. Because, again, they're in a situation where they have no Goose incoming. I think that's fine. How do they win the middle? Are they still winning the middle here? Maybe. Shit. Let's find out. Does Maximus Surfer win mid? I mean, retreating is the same as leaving at this point. I forgot about that. Oh, by one. Oh, by one. Shadow King Surfer gets it. It sure does. Shut up. Legitimately unbelievable that they won't just shut the fuck up. It is really not that hard to rub it in, and yet people manage to do it every time. Is that better for them or me? Depends on what they have. Hit Maximus, and I'm going to hit more shit. Oh, that's not good for them. Because now, I either hit Maximus and something else. Killmonger's gone now. Nice Killmonger. Thor. And then hold for Lockjaw Ham next turn. Basically, everything good is in the deck still, right? Oh, it's a good thing I got that Lockjaw land on the goose. Okay, so their hand is, like, not Polaris, not... Oh, man, okay, so they're fucked. But I don't want them to realize that. Pretty sure they're boned, though. Yeah. I'll just take my free win. Not a great hand to start with. Definitely not doing any of the stuff I want to be doing early, but I can still try to draw out of it. Great web, pretty awkward, given that we're a Lockjaw deck, yeah? Pretty tough to deal with. That said, it's also probably kind of annoying for them. Now only my cards move there. Nice. Oh, I can't do anything but put that shit in there. Not a lot of good hits either. It's a really bad situation. That's my one actual good hit. Probably get locked or juggernauted here, but that's kind of okay. Why not throw Evo there instead of Dracula? Because what if that... Okay, wait, hold on. What's under that? That's a 3, so that is going to be... That is going to be... So that right there is always Silver Surfer, right? We go Wasp Magneto here, pull at least one of these fuckers off, and try to steal one. What is it? Oh my god! The Great Web! Ooh. Ooh, okay. We're gonna wait a little bit on this, but holy shit. This is a baller-ass opener. We're gonna wait just a little, because we're not gonna play anything yet, but... Okay. Do you think Patriot is playable without Iron Lad? Maybe. These are some locations, bro. Let's fucking go. We're doing something. They're snapping back. Holy fuck. Okay, we're both Lockjaw then. This is going to be a very quick game, as we are both Lockjaw. Incoming death deck? Or something like that, yeah. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. If they're willing to snap back, it's horrifying. They're a death... I think they're probably a Lockjaw deck, right? Yeah, see? They're just the same as us, but with a nut draw here. Thank you, and Sarah Bang. For fuck's sake! They drew an Infinite off their shit? Oh, okay, that's like the only thing that's even fucking close. Goddamn! They threw an Evo in there. Got a Wasp. That's the kind of low roll we need. Doom. All right. Sure. Not my favorite thing in the world, but it's okay. Fucking maybe. High Evo, not good. But we still have the Magneto out. So what are they going to get off this? They got their Thor. Okay, we're in business. We're in business here, right? We are in business. We go Magneto over here. It always pulls Lockjaw Thor off the middle. We drop a Wasp right here as well. Lambie said his arms are bigger than yours. No, he didn't. All right. And now it flushes away whatever it is they played here. No Wasp falls. Their Lockjaw is always dying there. And we only lose one thing here. Their Lockjaw is at like -1,000,000 power. So the Lockjaw is always dying here. That's why we felt comfortable playing the Wasp. It was already at 0, so it was already less than the Wasp. And of course, if it hit it, it would go to -1. So the Wasp is it's just a free roll there. It's going somewhere. It has to go somewhere. We're never playing it here, because if we play it here on the Rickety Bridge, it just blows up our potentially free lane. Anyway, a lot of that game was just navigating priority. We just needed to be ahead. We just needed to be ahead in order to pull off that Magneto play. I do think they're likely actually favored in the matchup, so doing something like that to really push the pace of the matchup is probably good. Like, the Infinite versions of this deck are pretty fucking solid in the mirror, especially given that I'm a Spider-Ham deck. They're doing a lot of work. Now, granted, they did actually just fucking YOLO hit... They did actually just fucking complete YOLO hit an Infinite, and we complete YOLO hit a Hulk. So, I think we could say both people got lucky, but I think I got a little luckier. Because once they hit the Infinite, if I didn't hit the Hulk, that lane was dead. I think we got a little luckier. But in, like, Magneto on Magneto mirrors, the important thing is to be ahead. Because your Magneto pulls the Lockjaw and fucks their thing up. We could have hammed the Infinite. That is true. I mean, with Spider-Ham here is basically just like a completely unplayable piece of shit. I do like our Doctor Doom getting us into Rickety Bridge. I do kind of like that. All right, they have the Lockjaw stuff again. This is why I didn't want to snap. My hand was pretty mediocre, and it was pretty likely they had like something reasonable. So I know it's like mathematically you're supposed to snap here always. I don't really feel it right now. Our hits are not very good on this. Okay, they're snapping. Do I get a free stay here? I think I just leave. I think I just leave. I'm good being up 9-2. I haven't really thought about the math of this. I'm doing good, Z Kobe. I just have to like have a good opening hand and then snap my good opening hand, right? They've opened Lockjaw Wasp both games, and we have to respect that. But seeing as there's so many more low stakes rounds to get through, I think I'm comfortable just... Yeah, I'm cool. I have a Lockjaw. I'm staying on this one. You're not bullying me out of a game I have Lockjaw. That's not happening. See, I actually have the card this time. What up, Large Iced Coffee? Man, they had Lockjaw Wasp for the second game in a row. That's crazy. All right, let's see if we can punish them for this a little bit, though. Big Magento. 7th turn in the game is very interesting. Let's slap a Thor down on Baxter now that they don't have a Magneto available and there's a 7th turn in this game. I'm much more comfortable taking it slow here now. Can you explain why you didn't have Lockjaw Wasp turn 3? It's my fault. Just bad game. You know, I'm bad at Marvel Snap. It happens. That Dracula's real interesting. Do we give up left now? Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Large Iced Coffee with the Prime resub for 2 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So... That's a big Hulk. I'm assuming I'm just always dead here. Doom left to hit Jane. Maybe I should have done that, actually. Yeah. We go for the Thor hit into the Magneto discard, I think. I think they'll play middle, but I'm just going to say maybe they don't. Oh, damn. They run Arrow. That's crazy. All right, well, we're dead, as I understand it. They run a lot of weird cards. Okay, we got the Thor hit. I guess we can maybe win if we hit Magneto. I'm not holding out hope. I hit Jubilee. Okay. You know, if we'd done that in the other order, we would have won that game, right? No. Yes. No. 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 They run Arrow and She-Hulk. That's kind of good to know. Yes? No, we would have tied and then one lost the tiebreaker, right? Anyway, for a game in which, a Lockjaw Mirror in which they've opened Lockjaw Wasp 3 consecutive games, I think we're actually doing pretty well. I'm not sure I'm supposed to do that. Dude, do they have Lockjaw Wasp again? I mean, I'm just gonna leave. I feel like I'm not drawing very well, and I just need to win one of the next 3 games. And I'm drawing not good, and they're drawing good things. Is this the Proving Grounds? No. So one thing they don't seem to have is Doctor Doom. Pretty interesting, I think. I'm going to hold this ham as a way to play into Morag. I can ham now. No, I should hold it and then play Jane into Morag. Yeah. I should, yeah, we go Wasp into Thor. Yeah, Doom with Luke's bars looking good. And them not playing shit looks good too. Play Pig, right? No. They run the Infinite. We actually don't want to be repeating the Pig. We do not want to be dealing with that about as much as we can afford to not be dealing with that. Dracula's a good rip. Okay, so we do Wasp again and then Jane over here. And then our final turn is looking like we're dumping as much shit out of our hand as we possibly can. And then trying to get a Drac Hulk here. That's not actually that bad, I think. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the fucking world. It makes our Drac a lot less reliable. But it's still going to be doing a lot of shit. So we go Mjolnir, Doom, Wasp, Ham on the left. Yeah. Okay. We're going to win. Even if Drac hits absolutely fucking nothing. But I want him to hit the Hulk anyway. That's the point here. He should hit the Hulk anyway, right? We deserve this. Okay, we don't deserve it. Fine. We don't deserve it. My bad. I thought we deserved it. We don't deserve it. Quitting because of HE post? Yeah. Is Wave Odin just enough? He is off to play DC Dual Force. Yes, he is. Farewell, Bruce. Batman is OPAF in Dual Force. Is he really? That's kind of cool. I mean, it would make sense, right? Like you want your guy to be OP. Invisible Woman. I don't really know what that means. Nor do I plan on finding out anytime soon. I'm guessing Surfer. Patriot? The issue is a Shang, right? How's my cat doing? We got the best news we could, which is, Oh! Okay, Patriot, yeah. Yeah, that's Den. We know each other. I assume that's him based on the Inked Iron Lad. I play Ultron in my Lad deck. I don't even want to talk shit. The only question I have is if he's gotten greedy enough to cut Shang-Chi. Because if he's cut Shang-Chi, if he has cut Shang-Chi, we are suddenly cooking with fucking gas. But if he has not cut Shang-Chi, we do have to be... Oh! Alright, has he cut Shang-Chi? I must find out. Who's that even better for? I really don't know. I don't think he has. Sure. I'll take a free large man. The cat's okay? Yes, it's the best news we could have possibly got. She has heart failure, which is to say, like, kind of okay. But, we take those, basically, is where we're at with it. I'm gonna die to my own Dr. Doom here. Gonna die to my own Doctor Doom. Is there any way to play around my own Doctor Doom? And all my free shit I just gave him. Fuck Mindscape. I believe we are dead, but this is good information. So, we know a lot more about what they're running. And they're running Super Skrull, and I think that might be instead of Shang-Chi. Which means I get to play, I think, with a little more impunity here. I get to be a lot more cocky about what will and will not instantly win lanes. That is my feeling, at least. Does Skrull steal the Hulk? Yes, actually. This tower location batching? Yeah. Yep, that's it. You nailed it. Mindscape giving info for Conquest is pretty interesting, actually. It's especially interesting in this situation where they don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Or I don't know what the fuck they're doing, but they very likely know what I'm doing. It is extremely likely that Den is aware of the typical things my deck does. Whereas I am unaware of the nuances of his. My deck has like one nuance in it. So the Mindscape was a little more beneficial for me than it was for him. Seeing that Super Skrull makes me think there's no Shang-Chi. Keeping in mind we're playing an Iron Lad. Like there's a Brood in there probably. Maybe an Iron Man. Maybe an Ultron. We know there's an Ultron. And so we're thinking very unlikely to be Shangers here. A Mystique! Wow! Them boys huge! I kind of want to do this. Yep. They do run Shang! Oh, God! Oh, God, my life is over. Damn it. So, last cards are probably Brood Ultron. Boy, I am so glad I did not have to pay the full price to learn that. Holy fuck. Anyway, we died to, like, any of their, like, reasonable plays here, so we are leaving. Would Doomright still lose? Probably. Like, it loses to their Doom, right? Yeah, we know it's Ultron. I'm aware, Azurace. You don't need to, like, when I say, like, probably when it's definitely, and you correct me that it's definitely, like, don't do that. I remember the situation you were talking about. It is not fun to have the specifics of my phrasing checked when I'm doing stream of consciousness talking. Their deck is really tough to beat. It's like one card off the deck I posted. It's super tough to beat that. Some Conquest leaves you MMR and some don't. It's tough to know for sure. The higher up you go, the less there's MMR. Is there global matchmaking Dennis French? He's always been on this server, though. If that is him, which I do believe it is. Yeah, this build of the deck specifically, very hard to deal with that. The build we were playing earlier with Ham and Dracula, much better into that. So this is actually like a really good kind of learning experience, right? Because like you talk about what the deck loses to, right? It loses to Shang-Chi's backed up with good plans, yeah? And so the reason we've adapted with Dracula and Spider-Ham is to interfere with those plans and dodge those Shangs. And that's like kind of the critical point to understand, I think. Yeah, everyone who started in beta is on a server. These are bad locations for me. Yes, they are. I need to draw a Wasp or Mjolnir here, I think. That's fucking brutal. I don't think this one's winnable. All right, I have a strategy. I don't think it works, but I have a strategy. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. My strategy was going to be don't play hammer, but we don't have enough stuff in the middle. Like, I don't think 3 is ever winning this. So we do assume that's a Shangers, right? They're always going to fill it up with the Shangers. And we're never going to be able to win the left off of a 5-power Doom. Awful. My God. No, this isn't location. It's a bad matchup. This is what I'm trying to inform you. Like, when we talk about this, I almost want to put this loss in the video because, like, I feel like it's really instructive as to what actually beats you, which is to say, this kind of shit. If you play this, like, this is last week's build, right? If you play last week's build right now, you're gonna get shit on by people who are smart, like this. And, like, this is actually illustrating the point I'm trying to make entirely here. Like, this is exactly the point I'm trying to make here. Not every deck wins and there's always a counter. No, it's just this is a bad build of this deck. If we were playing Lockjaw and Spider-Ham, the matchup would be way better. But we're not. Because we're playing last week's deck. Did we just say something like Shang-Chi is not real? Patriot? Mystique? Ultron? Yes! Yes! That's what it is! Okay. Woo! Woo! Oh! Oh, okay. So we were just like, yeah, Shang-Chi is not real. If Shang-Chi were real, they wouldn't be trying to get Super Scroll value, yeah? Oh, yeah. These matchups are so hard, though. Like, I don't think I'm realistically able to, like, beat them most of the time. I think a lot of the time I'm fucking losing. God damn it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Actual pass turn 4. Holy shit. Oh, High Evolutionary. Alright. Alright, so that fucking sucked. Why not play Waspman and Lockjaw? Because I fucking forgot. Shut up. I definitely should have done that. I got too fancy. We were probably dead anyway, but I should have done that for sure. It wasn't a Shang, but it could have been a Shang, right? Okay. These are like pretty okay locations for me, actually. This is good locations, good draw game, hopefully. Yeah, this works. There's a worry of our Doom getting pulled onto Grand Central after 5. I do have to be aware of that possibility. Not a lot of great hits here. Wave. I mean, I can Magneto the Patriot. That protects my Magneto. Get a Jane. Oh, okay. That is some big guys. I'm imagining what they're doing is going to play Onslaught on the left. In which scenario? This 18 takes us to 30. No, I'm not off that list at all. I think it's a good list. We're testing a bunch of different decks. Skrull does absolutely fucking nothing for them here. But the point we're trying to make with this list, Jammernaut, is that it's a really tough matchup against anything with Invisible Woman and Shang, right? We're trying to say that this is last week's list, and because of that, we need to do better stuff. I like the Dracula list way, way, way more than this. All right, X-Mansion, what are we getting? They got a Yondu. It blew up our Hulk. We got a Master Mold. Wait, this sucks. This sucks for everybody. This is awful for everyone involved. Okay. This super sucks. What are they getting? Invisible Woman. All right. Chavez. Sure. Oh, man. Here's the thing. Here's the fucking issue. Is if we pull the wave and we don't play our Mjolnir right now, we're fucked. If it is the wave here, we're just in like a pretty asinine amount of trouble, I think. All right, no wave. We get the second Mjolnir. Okay. So what's the plan? Cards in deck are Wave Odin. Magneto mid makes a lot of shit die to Shang, I think. It is kind of where my head is at, right? We go like Magneto mid. We go Wasp over here, Mjolnir over here. Let's try that. Odin is pretty big. I mean, let's see how the fuck this goes. Sentinel. Shang-Chi. Yeah! All right, we're alive. We're alive again. Okay. Interestingly, with that play, the Master Mold was actually clutch. Master Mold actually clutch? Shang does exist? Yeah. I hate when Shang-Chi exists. It's my least favorite thing, is Shang-Chi existing. No. No! No! On that? Oh my god. We're losing on that. All right, this is a play. This is a line I can plausibly take. It feels bad in the last game. It feels terrible. It feels fucking awful. But we have a win condition. That said, I think we're just going to die. They were smart and played over there. And I think that kills us. Ultron beats our ass. Wait! We did it! Yes! The win condition!